Hey there, I'm Brittany Schroeder, and business and marketing are my jam. I'm here to walk you step by step through this crazy thing we call business. I'm a small town girl, chocolate eating, Diet Coke drinking mom, marketing guru, automation Jedi, and all around good time. This is your weekly dose of all things business and life, sprinkled with some fun. This is the Redefine Business Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Redefine Business Podcast. I am super excited about today's podcast. I have been thinking a lot about this. As you know, I have my 18-year-old son is staying with me. He's getting ready to leave for a couple of years. And, he's in that in-between stage where he is not quite an adult, but he's not really a kid either. If you are a parent that has adult kids, you understand this phase. It's really, really strange and weird. One of the things that I have learned about my son is, I'm a planner and we got to start working on this. And I'm always looking ahead, and he is just one of those people that just is living in the moment. He'll do it when he does it, kind of thing. And I'm trying to teach him these skills of not procrastinating and planning ahead. And, I've just seen how the stress of procrastination has affected him in his life, and in turn affects me because he's my kid. So I thought, you know what? I need to record a podcast on how to stop procrastinating, just because I have been thinking about it a ton lately. So I often think of just different things in my life and different things that have happened. And, there's all these things that we want to do, or we say that we want to do, do you want to go back to school and finish a degree? Are you wanting to start a business or a new career? Do you have things that you want to do, but you have been putting them off for years? Well, it's time to dust off your dreams, people. You have goals that are waiting for you to check off your list. So understanding why we procrastinate, it will actually help us finish what we are afraid to start. So there are many causes of procrastination. Let's break them down. Lack of motivation. This is one of the primary reasons people procrastinate. It's the lack of motivation. So when a task feels uninteresting, or maybe it doesn't feel relevant, it becomes hard to find that motivation and drive to actually do it. So that's one reason. Another reason, and this is one that I struggle with and have struggled with and still struggle with, but perfectionism. So, perfectionists, they often procrastinate because they fear that their work won't meet the expectations. This is a fear of failure or imperfection, and it can paralyze you, and it leads to you avoiding a task. The next one is poor time management, and inefficient time management can lead to procrastination. People may underestimate the time required to complete a task, and it causes them to put it off and to delay it, which is interesting. This is something that my son kind of struggles with because he doesn't have the concept of how long certain things take. And I kind of chuckle at him because I'm planning an event right now for my nonprofit, and I was telling him, this takes hours and hours to do. And he's like, designing a shirt. Oh, what? That takes 2 hours. And I'm like, no, try 10, So I think this is a really common one, especially for younger people or inexperienced people, understanding how much time things take. The next one is fear of failure. The fear of failing at a task. It can be a powerful driver of procrastination. People might delay starting a task because they do not want to fail. They don't want to fall short with expectations. The next one is lack of self-discipline. Procrastination can also result from lack of self-discipline and self-control. Distractions such as social media, television, and video games can easily just pull people in and take them away from their responsibilities. So these are some of the causes of procrastination. Maybe you're thinking, yeah, that one's me, that one's me, that one's me, maybe one or two, maybe all of them, but these are some of the causes. So what are the effects of procrastination? And we have all been affected by procrastination in one way or another. I can think of times in my life where other people's procrastination has added stress to me because they're stressed, and then I'm trying to pick up the slack, and it adds. So what are some of the other effects that procrastination can have on us? So increased stress, this is a big one. This is probably the biggest one. As deadlines approach, the stress and anxiety that is associated with procrastination, it gets more and more intense, right? This can negatively impact our overall well-being. Another effect is decreased productivity. So procrastination leads to decreased productivity and efficiency. Tasks take longer to complete, and the quality of work, it often suffers as a result, right? People will say, oh, I do best under pressure. I do best under pressure, but that is not true, because we oftentimes the quality just is not as good because we are tired, stressed, whatever it may be. Okay, the next one is missed opportunities. Delaying important tasks can result in missed opportunities. Procrastination may prevent individuals from achieving their goals and aspirations. I think of this too. I had a situation once where I was doing something with a colleague, and she was procrastinating, and she was waiting till the last minute to do, to work on a presentation or something. And there was somebody who at this event who needed help. And I was able to go and help because I hadn't procrastinated. And so, we miss opportunities. And this was an opportunity to serve, but we also will miss other opportunities if we are procrastinating and we're always doing things at the last minute. The next one, and I have felt this one, is strained relationships. Procrastination can strain relationships, especially when others depend on you to complete tasks or fulfill commitments. And I've experienced this too. If I feel like I cannot depend on somebody or that they're not going to do a good job, it really has changed the dynamics in that relationship. The last one is guilt and regret. After procrastinating, individuals a lot of times experience guilt and regret, which can further perpetuate the cycle of procrastination. People will procrastinate and put things off. And then if somebody is depending on them, they don't do a good job, then, they feel guilty, or they might feel like resentment because they feel guilty. So it's an ugly cycle, procrastination, and it has a lot of negative effects. So let's talk about how we are going to work through procrastination, right? So if you are like me, you have a to-do list a mile long, and, we have all of these different responsibilities. Like, I'm the CEO of my household and of my business, and I wear a million hats. Unfortunately, not only am I the CEO, but I'm also the housekeeper, the chef, the taxi, the accountant, the marketing director, the event planner, on and on and on. So even if I could delegate, there's no one to delegate to. A lot of these things are solely left up to me. So each day we wake up and we are ready to tackle our list. But have you ever noticed that the biggest items, the ones we value the most, or the things that take the most time, we leave those to the last possible minute, and we just skip them entirely? So you might be the self-proclaimed master procrastinator, or you might have convinced yourself that you do better under pressure. No. Either thought does not alleviate the fact that this behavior is often accompanied with anxiety and stress. The end result is the feeling of just being depleted or just disappointed or stressed, whatever. No matter how you look at it, it's a negative emotion or negative feeling, and we want to avoid that. So why do we do this? Why do we procrastinate? We avoid things because we might feel afraid or, failure or discomfort, whatever it may be. I'm not going to be good enough or smart enough. I'm afraid what others will think, or maybe it might be too hard, or it might make you just feel uncomfortable. These thoughts don't serve us, right? So we've kind of talked about these thoughts. So the next part of the procrastination, of overcoming it, is having awareness and recognizing, okay, what are the thoughts that I'm having right now that are making me procrastinate? Whatever those thoughts are that are having, that you're making you procrastinate, they are contributing to putting off the things in our lives that might bring us the most joy and satisfaction. So how do we change this habitual pattern? How do we change that? Most of us are not used to noticing what we think. So we first need to recognize our thoughts and realize how they are holding us back. The things we think cause us to feel insecurity or fear, which leads to procrastination or inaction. We need to come up with some new thoughts that will help us progress. If you have the thought, I don't know how to do this, or I can't do this, whatever that may be, you can change that thought to, I need to learn how to do this, or I can do this. If your thought is, I don't have enough time, you need to change that thought to, I will make the time because it is important to me. As you start to recognize and manage your thoughts, you will start to take more action. It just takes time. So I'm going to give you now, you guys know that I love actionable steps. So I'm going to give you some strategies to overcome procrastination. The first one obviously is the awareness and understanding the thoughts. But now I'm going to give you some actionable steps. And if you can implement some of these strategies, then you are going to improve and overcome procrastination. So the first one is set clear goals. Define your goals and objectives clearly. Having a clear understanding of what needs to be accomplished, that can give you the motivation and the direction. The next one is prioritize tasks. One of the things that I do in my business, and it's a huge game changer in my life, really, is I plan the night before my day. But the thing that I do is I create my top 3 goals. And those 3 goals, I do those first, and then I tackle my to-do list that have things that are not as important. So get in the habit of prioritizing what are the most important things. The next one is break tasks into smaller steps. Large or intimidating tasks can be overwhelming, and that can lead to procrastination. So break them down into smaller, more manageable steps to make progress easier. So if you have a big presentation to do, instead of saying, I'm going to work on this presentation, and it overwhelms you and then you procrastinate, just say, I'm going to work on this for 1 hour today. So I am often doing that in my business. If I have to write a ton of emails, I'll say, okay, I'm going to write 2 emails today. And I plan accordingly. I start planning, a month or weeks in advance. Okay, the next one is create a to-do list and plan your days. The night before, I kind of talked about this, is writing them down. Write down the things you need to do. There is nothing that brings me more pleasure. Okay, that's kind of dramatic, but it brings me a lot of pleasure to cross things off of my to-do list. And I know you feel me. I know that you think the same. So write everything down. And I sometimes will write like the most menial tasks down, just because it helps me keep my momentum going and it helps me feel accomplished. Okay, use time management techniques. Techniques like my favorite is time blocking and batching. And this can help you improve and prevent you from procrastinating. Okay, eliminate distractions. Identify and eliminate distractions in your environment. Turn off notifications, create a clutter-free workspace, and give yourself clear boundaries with yourself, with your friends, with your family, with technology. I do not answer my phone during the day unless it's a business call. I save those till the afternoon when I have a little bit more free time. I don't get on my phone unless it's work. So set those boundaries. They really do help. Okay, the next one, set realistic deadlines. Be realistic about the time required to complete tasks. Setting these overly ambitious deadlines, they can lead to procrastination because then you realize, I can't meet them. It's overwhelming. So be realistic with yourself. and give yourself enough time to get things done. Okay, overcome perfectionism. This is something that I have had to really work at, but accept that perfection is unattainable and embrace the concept of good enough or B- work is okay. Focus on progress and not on perfection. It's okay. We have to start somewhere. We can improve as we go. Seek accountability. Share your goals and deadlines with a trusted friend or a colleague that can hold you accountable to your commitments. I have a lot of people in my circle, and we're constantly like bouncing things off of each other and holding each other accountable, and it is golden. It is awesome. Reward yourself. Set up a system of rewards for completing tasks and reaching milestones. This positive reinforcement, it can be such a powerful motivator. Okay, the next one is practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you slip into procrastination. It happens to all of us. Self-compassion can help you break the cycle of that self-criticism and the guilt. So be patient with yourself. Everything is a process. Nobody's perfect. And then the last one is visualize success. Imagine the satisfaction and benefits of completing a task and use this visualization to motivate yourself. So here's a few, these are some tips. These are things that I have tried, and they're tried and tested, and I know that they work. This change will not happen overnight. It takes practice and work. But if you put in the effort, you will find that procrastination is never the solution. Once you realize that, first of all, procrastination is just a thought, and you will have that knowledge, then you have the ability to make the changes. Implement some of these strategies. Start with one or two, and then just keep adding. You will learn to become the best you as you make your major dreams and goals in your life a priority instead of something that you avoid on your to-do list. So to all my procrastinators out there, it's time for change. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I am excited to hear your thoughts. I will see you guys next time. Let's not stop the party here. Head on over to my Instagram or Facebook group, Redefine Your Business, and let me know your thoughts about today's show. I will see you again, same time, same place, next week.